welcome back to Double Overtime. Yes, this is real. Yes, this is happening. We're having a show. Off-season Double Overtime. I'm Jenna Weiner. He's Sascha Vogel. Sascha, we're back. It's only October.
Back.
What is happening?
We're back.
Back for a special episode, a pre-Nationals episode, really, Club Nationals episode. Because we thought, we're both still around. We've been hanging out in various ultimate circles over the course of the summer, post PUL, post WL seasons. And we figured, there's been a touch of news ahead of Club Nationals coming out of the Western Ultimate League in particular. Why not sit down and we'll call the season 1.5. Sure.
Is this
right? Special preview. I don't even know if the editors knew that we were going to do this, but we're doing it anyway. So I hope you enjoy listening to us chit-chat about Nationals and also the semi-pro leagues that won't be back in season for another number of months. But it should be fun. Sascha, how's life been? What have you been up to?
Life's been good. I've been up to basically nothing except for Frisbee. I know a lot of people know I've played a lot of disc golf, but I haven't played disc golf in months. And
wow.
I wasn't having a great time. And so I decided to take a break and focus more on Frisbee. And here I am. Played Frisbee with a team out of Atlanta called Hooch. And we made it to regionals in our first year. Got 6th,
Congratulations.
I believe.
Very exciting.
If I remember correctly. Nope. We didn't get 6th. We got 9th.
hey, still made it to regionals first year as a team.
Yeah,
That's always an achievement.
And hope we're gonna run it back next year, and hopefully we can have everybody in actual Frisbee shape to be able to have a lot more success, I guess.
Nice.
What have you been up to?
Yeah, I have been playing some disc golf. I won my first. I took home my first ever professional cash with my first ever professional win at the very same time.
Nice.
At the San Francisco Safari. Yeah, that was the end of August. Time flies. It's wild how that happens. So yeah, that was cool to be able to take that title home. Was also playing some Ultimate over the summer with a mixed team out of the Bay Area called Firefly. We unfortunately did not make regionals because the Northern California section is very deep and very strong, and we lost in the game to go to regionals. So, yeah, it was not a close game. It was rough. It was sort of a situation where we had a crossover game that basically we needed to win, or else we had to win out, and then we lost said crossover game and could not win out on Sunday. So, you do what you can, and it doesn't help in that crossover game that we gave up an 8-1 run in the second half to lose.
Oof.
It's not pretty.
Oof.
Not
tough.
My best days of Ultimate, but as it goes, I will be doing more Ultimate things, obviously, back on the pod with you, at least for this episode, until we take another little break before the season starts to ramp up again. But I will be in San Diego for Club Nationals. I have not officially announced this publicly as of we are recording this. But yeah, I'll be there covering the women's division. So excited to be there reporting once again, and hope to see folks down at the fields in San Diego for Club Nationals. Especially women's divisions. I will be at your fields all weekend long.
Nice. Jealous. Wish I could be there.
Fun gig. And, eventually, Sascha, we will meet. We haven't gotten a chance to yet. It'll happen at some point. Maybe next time, I can come your way for Pro Champs if it happens to be in your area again, or you come my way for Club Nationals. It'll happen eventually.
It will. One day it'll happen.
One day. Should we get into some news? Once we've gotten our updates out of the way.
Yeah. First news, big news, is that we've had our first, I guess, roster announcements for either league coming from the Utah Wild. Represent, wearing their jersey right now. Yeah, they dropped their initial 7 at first, which includes Jen Cogburn, Kendra Miller, Kayak, Paige Kircher, Mac Perkett, Sarah Stoller, and Shay Wallen. And that's a pretty stacked starting 7, if I do say so myself. If you remember, Paige Kircher was the total yardage stat leader for the Western Ultimate League with 2,275 total yards. That includes throwing and receiving yards. The next closest was Allie Steinfeld, and she only had about 2,000. She had just over 2,000 and also played one more game than Paige did. So it's pretty impressive.
Yeah, helps for the Wild to get back some of their big hitters, including Paige. I mean, and especially trying to bounce back from a disappointing first season, especially for the expectations coming off of their Winter Cup win last winter now. And they've also they've announced that Kat Songer will be joining them from the title-winning Seattle Tempest. So Utah Wild already trying to make some moves, trying to boost their squad ahead of the 2023 season. It feels so strange to say 2023 season, but
yeah,
it's happening. We're already talking about it.
Yeah, they're coming out of the gate strong. They're putting the league on notice right now, and hopefully, within the next, I don't know, month or so, I guess we'll see more like tryout announcements happening for these teams, and maybe we'll see some roster announcements before then. That would be nice.
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see we might get a Winter Cup. There's been no announcements that it's happening or not, but who knows? There might be a Western Ultimate League Winter Cup. If there's not, it'll be interesting to see if teams move their tryout times at all. I know at least for my local San Francisco Falcons, they had tryouts earlier to try and get a roster set fully before Winter Cup last year, and they just basically kept that roster through the full season. Other teams didn't settle their rosters until a little bit later. It'll be interesting to see when we hear more about what the next plans are for the league, if there is going to be a Winter Cup. Based on their quarterly announcement, the Western Ultimate League has been putting out quarterly updates. Weren't any major updates in that. Just hey, we're coming to come back. And as always, looking for support, both monetarily and also any volunteers, any folks who are local who want to help out their teams. I know I've also seen quite a number of teams, certainly in the Western Ultimate League, but I think in the Premier Ultimate League too, teams starting to reach out and be like, hey, if you want to help us out in coaching or video or stats, let us know. So if you're in the area of a Western Ultimate League or Premier Ultimate League team, check out their socials, see if they are looking for help, if you are available and want to help out your local semi-pro team.
Yeah, I mean, I think the social media from a lot of these teams has been really good over the offseason, especially the Sidewinders. Whoever's running the Sidewinders social media got it on lock. It's incredible. Great stuff coming from them.
Yeah, gotta love to see teams keeping up the socials, especially while we have this extended off season in between when the leagues are running for real. So I think that's our last bit of news. Sasha, let's start talking about Nationals. First poll is going up in less than a week now, starting next Thursday, October 20th. Happens to be my birthday. I always love Nationals timing because it's just around my birthday, so I just go hang out and watch Frisbee, and that's my own birthday present. It's great. That's fantastic situation for anyone whose birthdays are in late October.
Sounds like a great birthday, to be honest.
It's pretty solid. Flying to San Diego Wednesday night, wake up for my birthday and go watch 4 straight rounds of pool play games.
Let's go.
Long birthday, but good birthday is what it'll be. So obviously, we're a podcast for the Western Ultimate League and the Premier Ultimate League. But here's the thing, Sasha. Nearly every team, the vast majority of the teams in the mixed and women's divisions at Club Nationals have at least one player who played on a Western Ultimate League or Premier Ultimate League team this past season. We went through and saw a lot of crossover names. All but, I think, 6 teams we found across both the mixed and the women's divisions have at least one player who played semi-pro this season. 2 in particular stood out because their rosters are not like identical, but like seem pretty similar. In Oregon Schwa, the club version, having a bunch of players from Oregon Onyx, the semi-pro Western Ultimate League team, and Raleigh Phoenix club team, bringing a lot of the players over from Raleigh Radiance. Both teams pretty successful. Both teams making the Final Four for their respective leagues, Onyx and Radiance both. Thoughts about how these teams might be bringing some of that continuity? I know that we've seen it in certainly some AUDL club crossover. I'm thinking particularly for your part of the country, Ring, and I'm immediately blanking the Flyers. Yes?
Yeah. Yep.
I think that's the crossover. I should know my Southeast teams better. Thoughts on sort of, this is really, I think, the first time we're fully going to be seeing this in action of the semi-pro to club crossover. Any thoughts, Sasha, on how it might help teams, presumably, come nationals next week?
I think it's going to help them a lot because they've been playing together for almost an entire year now. And like when there's not a lot of different players that, what am I trying to say? I guess when there's basically the same amount of, what am I saying? When there's not a lot of turnover, there it is. When there's not a lot of turnover between the teams, then your chemistry just boosts immediately. And just, it makes it a lot easier because you know everybody, you know exactly what they want to do and their tendencies. And your chemistry's together. It's probably going to be a very similar system that they run. I know it's like going from like an AUDL to club is a little different because of the width of the field for the most part. Like the schemes are a little different, but with the PUL and WL rules being a lot closer to the way the USAU rules, you don't really have to worry about that. The only real difference, besides obviously the length of the field, it's 10 yards longer in the semi-pro leagues, is time management. There's no clock you have to worry about. And that's really the only difference that you have to worry about. And so I just think it's going to be a lot easier. And I think these teams are going to do pretty well.
Yeah. And they're actually in the same pool, as it turns out, both in Pool D in the women's division. So we'll get to see the matchup. Schwa actually holds the season head-to-head. Schwa beat Phoenix at Pro Champs. So we'll get to see them play it out again next Thursday. I think especially when looking over at the rosters, again, I'm covering the women's division, so I've been staring at rosters and schedules for a while since they were out earlier this week for nationals. There is just so much. I would say that like 75% of Radiance's roster is on Phoenix. And also just the number of UNC players who have played Radiance and have played Phoenix. I think just especially there is that level of continuity and familiarity There's crossover in terms of like coaching staffs also. So I think especially for the Phoenix Radiance connection, as we've seen with Ring and the Flyers, I just think that North Carolina, they got something going in terms of the continuity between the different teams and the programs. I think Schwa will hopefully be improved after a somewhat disappointing, certainly in pool play, disappointing performance last year at Club Nationals. But again, especially with the Western Ultimate League, 7-second stall. And while there is quite a bit of carryover from the Onyx roster to the Schwa roster, it's not quite to the degree of the Radiance to Phoenix carryover. I think the effects of bringing all of that continuity over might be less apparent than with Radiance, or Phoenix from Radiance. You had players going from like last season playing Phoenix in the 2021 club season to a chunk of them playing together for UNC in both the winter and spring college series to playing Phoenix all together this club season. Like that is a lot of time spent on a Frisbee field together in very similar conditions. And I just can't help to think, but it will help a Phoenix team, which already in 2021 made the semifinals, gave Fury their best game of the entire freaking tournament. I can't think it helps Phoenix to have so much continuity from Radiance, from UNC. And I'm excited to see how it plays out next week already somehow.
Yeah, it's gonna be great to watch them. I personally have Phoenix definitely in the semifinals again, but we'll get into that a little later.
Yeah, we'll make some picks. Don't worry, folks. We'll make picks even though it's for club and not for PUL, WUL. We've talked a bit about some team stuff. We'll get back to some more notable team things. We want to highlight some notable individuals because, as mentioned, feels like basically every team has at least one player. We won't name all of the players who are on all the teams because that would just make our podcast go on forever, and we would inevitably miss someone or multiple people and then feel bad about it. So instead, we're not going to mention most people and highlight a few people. So shout out everyone who played PUL, WUL, and who's playing at Club Nationals. Congratulations. We wish you the best of luck. And we're excited to see y'all out on the field. I'm excited to be there. If you're there and you hear this, come say hi. I will be around the field. I will probably be wearing a bright orange sun hoodie because that tends to be my go-to at Club Nationals. So some highlight players. Let's start with someone who has been playing Ultimate for a very long time and just made her very first Club Nationals, Penny Wu, with Chicago Nemesis. Penny's social media, in just the wake of Nemesis making it, she caught the final goal that secured them the win to win the region, that sent Nemesis to Nationals. Just absolutely incredible. And I mean, she's just been breaking onto the scene, it feels like, and people have been becoming more and more aware of her standout with Columbus Pride. And I'm excited to see her on the field with Nemesis this upcoming week at Nationals. Per the streaming schedule, it doesn't look like Nemesis is set to be streamed, at least on day one. So I have my fingers crossed for at least the world being able to see Penny Wu at Club Nationals, that they at least make the pre-quarters, if not the quarters round, as Nemesis did in 2021. And we get to see her incredible throwing prowess on display on one of the many streams that Ultraworld's going to be putting on over the course of Club Nationals.
Yeah, if you haven't seen the video that she posted of her catching the final goal to send them to Nationals, find it on her Twitter if you can, because it kind of just, it plays out like a movie, you know, like it's just an incredible story, 15 years of trying to get to Nationals and then being able to catch the goal that sends your team to the big show like that. That's incredible.
It's just, and I mean, those are the types of stories and moments that we like to share. And I am almost positive Penny will not be the only first-time Club Nationals attendee from the long list of players who played semi-pro and will be at Club Nationals. So if you are a first-time Club Nationals attendee like Penny Wu, congratulations on making it to Nationals for your very first time. We hope you enjoyed the experience. It is a great time, pretty much regardless of how your team does.
And you're officially cooler than me.
I've been to Club Nationals a number of times, but I've never played at Club Nationals. Still a thing I would like to do one day, but who knows? We'll see.
We'll see. All right. So yeah, that was our player from the PUL. Moving over to the WL, we're going to highlight Kayak, who is currently playing with Fort Collins Shame in Colorado. This is her second time at Club Nationals. She was with Schwa last year, and is also, like we were saying earlier, one of the starting, I guess we could say it's the starting 7 of the Utah Wild. And from being a friend with Kayak, she's extremely excited to be with this team. She loves being with Shame, and they look pretty decent. I got to watch them at Pro Champs, and obviously Shame's always been a pretty good team, and they can definitely make some noise and do some damage.
Although Noise is a different team in their division, seated I think
true.
Just one above them. Shame's pool is just absurd. Pool C. You got Philadelphia Amp.
It's rough.
You got Toro from North Carolina, and then you have World Championships runner-ups, Vancouver Red Flag as your bottom seed. Good luck to anyone trying to guess who's gonna come out of Pool C in mixed. Women's tends to be slightly more predictable in terms of seeding. I'm kind of glad, at least for predictability's sake, in terms of making picks and such, that I'm covering women's and not having to guess at who the heck is going to come out of the various nasty mixed pools that are just ripe with really, really good teams.
Yeah, mixed is it's a different animal this year.
Yeah. And it's something too, just with Shame, it's notable how we talked about the Onyx to Schwa and Radiance to Phoenix continuity. Shame is an example of a team that actually pulls from a number of different semi-pro teams as a club team, because they also have among their players Jay McLaughlin, Helen Eifert, and Aubrey Dietrich, all of whom played for the Sidewinders, Arizona Sidewinders. And so you
also
have players...
Megan Maxfield.
And so you just see the different players from different teams, especially in areas, Colorado, not currently the home of a semi-pro women on non-binary team, which would presumably be in the Western Ultimate League, but BO has a Texas team, so who could say really? So it's cool to see when you have this intersection of different semi-pro teams on different club teams, different players from different club teams coming together to play semi-pro together. Like with Seattle, they I would say 3 different teams that Tempest players are split up amongst between Mixtape, BFG, and Riot. So it's cool to see the different blending from the different teams one way or the other. All right. One more player highlight, or some other players' highlights, really. Claire Trope, currently playing with DC Scandal, previously of Boston Brute Squad and the club scene, played with DC Shadow, who made the finals. Runners up to Revolution in the PUL. Trope, one of 4 players who were on Team USA, as the 7 women matching players from Team USA who played semi-pro and are also playing club. those including Trope, who was an absolute standout at World Games, in addition to Sarah Mexstroth, who is part of that crew who played both Radiant and Mex on Phoenix is a scary ad for Raleigh this club season, along with Carolyn Normile, also of DC Shadow, but playing with Pittsburgh Parcha, and Kayla Helton playing with Flipside. I think they're San Diego Flipside, and also playing with San Diego Super Bloom. So it's cool to see those players, playing at the top level all throughout this year, playing at the top levels of the semi-pro league, playing at the top level of the entire world, and playing at the top level of the club division as well.
Yeah, and when Frisbee is your life, I guess, because they are, some of the best players in the world, obviously, because like some of the top 7 women in the world were on this US World Games team. So and all of their teams that they play for are pretty good. And they are huge. They are big contributors on each of them. I was able to watch Mexstroth at Pro Champs, and she was all over the place. She is so fast. I don't very, very fast, and she's tall, so she can she's an incredible player to watch.
Yeah, I feel like with Mex in particular, she along with Khalif El Salam were the two effectively mixed division representatives, although now Mex is playing in the women's division this club season. But I think sometimes with Mex in particular, there was sometimes a question of how good is she really, given that she played mixed, she played with Dragon, who has had a lot of success over the years, but hasn't necessarily, at least in the past few seasons, been able to put it all together at nationals. Obviously being selected to the World Games team will silence any questions about her ability. I think playing in and starring in 2 different club divisions, along with the semi-pro league and also the World Games, Mex is one of the best ultimate players on the planet, period. That just full stop, and just an all-around cool person as well. Of course, got to mention the folks who didn't play semi-pro this year, also on the World Games team, who are playing club. A couple of Fury representatives in Carolyn Finney and Opie Payne, and then Claire Chastain of Denver Molly Brown. And Trope, standout for Shadow, was maybe arguably Team USA's best player, certainly at times was Team USA's best player at the World Games. And now is with Scandal. Scandal back after not playing in 2021. Be interesting to see. They're in a pool with Phoenix, that 4-5-9 lineup, Schwa being the 9 seed in Pool D. Be interesting to see who comes out on top out of Pool D between Phoenix, Scandal, and Schwa.
Yeah, my personal opinion, Claire Trope is the best power cutter in the world.
I like it.
Any division, anywhere. If you want to learn how to cut and create space for yourself and for everyone else, seriously, just choose any game that she's in and watch her. It's incredible.
Also, if you're not the tallest person, but you want to learn how to play bigger than your size, Claire Trope is a great person to watch because she plays defense much larger than her. She's not short by any means, but she's also not tall. If you're a taller person, especially a taller win matching player, and you want to learn how to play defense, go watch Mex play. If you want to learn how to throw, go watch Carolyn Normile, and etc., etc. We could go on and list all of the World Games players in terms of learning how they play. And Kayla Helton playing arguably, potentially, I mean, arguably, I think playing the best ultimate of her life right now and playing with a brand new team. There are only 2 teams in the women's division at Club Nationals that have made it for the first time in at least several years. And in the case of San Diego Flipside, it's their first year of existence. Flipside bringing together some of the best players from LA Astra and San Diego Super Bloom on a basically super team. Southwest region with the top 2 seeds in Fury and Flipside. Flipside's only losses have come to Fury this season. They have beaten everybody else. And Kayla Helton and Dina Elamelik and Kristen Bajunas and Maggie O'Connor and etc. and Kelly Iwamoto and etc. Make up just a really, really potent Flipside squad. And as a Southwest homer, I might be unbiasedly rooting for Fury and Flipside to meet in the final because, hey, as a Southwest homer, I would appreciate that.
Yeah. Okay, so this team, like, where did they come from is my question. Like, where did all of these players come from, and why hasn't this been a thing before?
So, Sascha, as a Southwest homer,
Please
someone who lives
me.
in the Bay Area, home of Fury, and Nightlock for that matter, Bay Area routinely sends 2 women's teams to nationals. It's basically that Wildfire was a team, is still a team actually, but was a team that made nationals, made the push, especially when nationals came local in 2018. They made quarters as the 16 overall seed, but playing at home. Wildfire is not the team they used to be, and that's partially because a chunk of the Wildfire players now play for Flipside. And the other thing is the 2 examples, 2 of the key players, one who played for Astra this year and one who played for Superbloom this year, in Kayla and Dina, they both played for Fury last season. Fury has such a draw as a consistently going to make semifinals team that they've drawn talent from all over California, and that includes SoCal. And so the best players have often chosen, at least from SoCal, to commute basically to play Fury rather than play on a Wildfire team or try and play mixed in SoCal, which the mixed scene in SoCal has been on and off over the years. But now they've got enough talent, especially with like the UC San Diego and UC Santa Barbara college programs absolutely flourishing. There's enough there that might as well combine and make a super team in SoCal. And you take 2 pretty potent teams from the Western Ultimate League, LA Astra and San Diego Superbloom, and you take the best players from the 2 semi-pro teams that are close by each other, put them onto one club team. That club team's going to be pretty good. And Flipside's pretty good. And Wildfire is not what it once was. And Flipside has effectively taken the place and then some of a formerly pretty good Wildfire team. That's where they've come from, really.
Well, there we go. Thank you for the history lesson.
It helps when you have a California local when you ask about Southwest region things.
That is true.
It does help with matters. Yeah, we got the Southwest and the Southeast repped, and the middle and northern parts of the country, not so much. But that's okay. That's why we have guests on, who are not us to talk about places that we do not live or rep. Speaking of that, places we don't live.
Canada.
We don't live in Canada.
we do not live in Canada. Our friends over at Huck and A, probably.
Yeah,
I would assume they live in Canada.
They certainly have
representing Canada.
They certainly have more things to say about the Canadian teams than our less knowledgeable selves do. Notably, the Canadian teams in the mixed and women's divisions make up half of the teams that do not have any Western Ultimate League or Premier Ultimate League players from this past season, to our knowledge. In part because there were travel restrictions still earlier this year, made it real difficult for folks to be able to travel, let alone travel to play Ultimate Frisbee earlier this year. I wouldn't be surprised if that changes next year, especially with the Portland Rising team. I wouldn't be shocked if the Western Ultimate League is at least thinking about trying to expand to Vancouver to get another pairing up in the Pacific Northwest alongside Seattle and Oregon. But as of yet, Toronto Sixers, Vancouver Traffic, and Vancouver Red Flag, 3 of the teams that do not have any representation at Club Nationals from North Ultimate League, Premier Ultimate League. Again, don't think that'll continue, but it is the case at least for the moment. Other teams being DC Grit in the women's division, and then Denver Love Tractor and the Ames or Iowa Chad Larson Experience being the other teams, those last 2, both in the mixed division without any POL or WL representation that we know of. This was done by trying our best to compare rosters between the Nationals attending teams and the rosters of all of the PUL and WL teams. So if we miss somebody, let us know at @OTPod on Twitter, or doubleovertime@ultiworld.com. It's our email address. Let us know if we missed somebody, and if we did, we are sorry. But yeah, only 6 teams still to not have PUL WL representation, which is still incredible to me.
Yeah, out of 32, that's a pretty good number there. Then that's not to say that none of these teams are that any of these teams are bad. They're obviously good because they're at Nationals.
Yeah, just the roster construction and geography, of right, all the teams. You have 3 Canadian teams. You have a team based in Iowa, and which there's some PUL teams in the area, but they're taken up. Those players are often playing for Minneapolis teams or for Chicago teams. Maybe not the Iowa team. There's no team no semi-pro women non-binary team in Denver at the moment. And then, who am I missing? DC. There are 2 club women's teams going to Nationals from DC. And Scandal has a lot of the DC Shadow players, and also Pittsburgh Parcha has a lot of DC Shadow players. And so I think, to my knowledge, Grit doesn't have any players who were fully rostered, to be clear. Because some teams had extended practice player lists, but we're trying to focus on those players who were fully rostered and saw game time at some point during the season. Again, if we missed somebody, let us know.
Yeah. All right. Is that time for picks?
I think it's time for picks. Oh, only one other note. Interesting in the mixed division, the 3 teams, Love Tractor, Red Flag, and CLX, were 3 of the 4 teams in the mixed division that stole their bids effectively, that were not bid earning, that won a bid. The only other team that earned a bid, that took a bid that what they did not earn, was Atlanta Dirty Bird. Atlanta Dirty Bird was one of the 13 mixed teams that had at least one PUL WL player on their roster. So just an interesting note. That's how it worked out. But again, they're very good teams because they are Nationals. Yes, picks. Yeah. Let's do it.
Let's do at semis and finals and winner for at least the women's division and mixed division. And then we can do finals and winner for men's.
Sure.
Okay, cool.
Let's get the men's division out of the way. Because as I said, of all the divisions, that's the one that I've been paying attention to the least. I know a thing or two. I'm a consistent Deep Look listener, and Charlie and Keith have said things about the men's division that I've mostly listened to. Your top seeds in men's, Truck Stop, Ring of Fire, Machine, Pony. I will go... Are we just doing finalists? Let's just do finalists for men's.
Yeah, the 2 finalists.
Finalists, let's go Truck Stop and... are they going to end up matching up? I'm gonna go truck stop pony, because I'm gonna say pony loses to Sockeye in pool D, but then goes on to win to make the final. Because if I don't, those two play in the semifinal.
Yeah, I was just looking at that, and that makes me angry.
I'm gonna say that Sockeye upsets pony in the 4-5 in pool play, but then pony wins out enough to go to the final.
Yeah. Okay, because my picks for finals were going to be truck and pony, but I don't.
You could pick the same ones.
But I think pony is going to just win their pool, and that's the issue.
And if we think the truck's going to win their pool, then they play in semis.
And I think they're going to exactly, and that's that. Yeah.
All right. So who do you trust more, Ring, who lost a chain, or Machine?
Oh, who can't play Sundays?
who can't play after day one?
Apparently.
Or they barely beat Revolver in pre-quarters. I know a thing or two about the men's division. I was at Club Nationals last year.
Oh, headcanon for what's happening with Machine right now. Because they can't win games on Sunday. This year it's because they added Jordan Kerr. So the BYU curse is rolling over to Machine, and therefore they can't win on Sundays.
All right, so you're taking your local Ring to play in the final?
Oh, man.
Against the winner of Truck and Pony?
Okay, here's the thing. Ring is winning this pool. Oh, I gotta look at the bracket. I didn't look at the bracket very well. Pool B, and then they win the Pool C. Okay. Yeah, Ring in the final with... I'm going to go Ring Truck Stop, and Truck Stop beats them.
Truck Stop with the Triple Crown. I'm inclined to also take Truck over Pony.
They look very good.
They look so good this year.
They look so good.
Cole Jurek
with them have been just... They look good. Anyways, yes, men, over.
Yeah, I think we're done. So we're both picking Truck Stop to win. My spicy thing for semifinals, Chain beats Machine in pool play, and then you get a Chain Ring semifinal in a rematch of the Southeast regional final where Chain beat Ring.
That would be intense.
That would be pretty funny. Unless you have a situation where Pony loses and etc. So then it doesn't actually work for that matchup to happen. But I think that'd be pretty funny if there was a rematch of the Southeast regional final in semifinals of Nationals.
Yeah.
Anyway, if it happens, I didn't call it, but I kind of called it. All right. Let's go to mixed. The chaos of the mixed division. Goodness gracious. Semifinalist in mixed. Okay, how do I make this work for it to make any sense?
Oh man,
I don't want to just pick chalk, but I'm kind of tempted to just pick chalk. Okay, I'm going to go. I'm gonna go out on a limb here and go first. I'm going to say that hybrid playing BFG in one semifinal, and I have Mixtape and Dragon in the other semifinal. I think Mixtape beats hybrid in pool play. Dragon wins their pool. Mixtape and Dragon face off in semis, and hybrid wins through pre-quarters to face BFG, who wins their pool and wins the quarterfinal.
Oh man,
it's mostly chalk, but it's not quite chalk. Sorry, Amp, for leaving you out.
Okay, here we go. Pool A. Okay, so I got one semifinal is Dragon, and then
gotta make a pick. Who's Dragon playing?
I know. Dragon will be playing Mixtape. Did you say that?
I did.
Okay. Well, anyways, they'll be playing Mixtape.
That's fine.
And then the other semi is going to be BFG and 3 of Pool 8. No. Ooh, that quarter is going to be fun.
Yeah. That's where that was my question. Right? Because it sets up as amp hybrid.
I'm gonna go with amp.
Okay.
So BFG.
So
amp
we are the same Dragon mix tape, and then I have hybrid and BFG, and you have BFG and amp.
Yeah.
All right. Who do you have advancing out of those semifinals?
I got an all Seattle final mixtape BFG.
Same. And I will take mixtape to beat BFG just as they did in the regional final. Although they haven't necessarily been able to do that in matchups before. Mixtape to double peak.
I was going to say the same.
We can have the same picks. They're boring picks. And of all the divisions that were like bound to be wrong, mixed is the one that we're going to be bound to be wrong.
We're probably going to be wrong. Let's be honest here.
Like, who knows? Like, Polar Bears could beat BFG, and then we get another Seattle semifinal. And we could have a situation where, I don't know, Dragon loses to, who's the 8th seed overall? Dragon loses to Exist, and then you have, I don't know, like Dragon Amp or Red Flag actually does like the same thing they did at Worlds, and then they make a big run as the 15th seed overall. Like, who could say? Who could say?
Who knows?
Good luck to anyone else who's making picks for who's gonna do well in mixed, because we basically just picked chalk. So good luck to everyone else. Let's do women's and let's round out this show. Season 1.5 special episode. Women's finalists.
Wait, am I going first this time? I'll go first this time. Okay. So this first semi on the top of the bracket is going to be Fury and Phoenix. We're gonna see a Fury Phoenix semi again. That's exciting.
That would be fun.
That's super exciting.
They were the 1 and 4 seeds last year.
Yeah.
They won 4 seeds again.
And then
all right, the other semi
B. It's gonna be Flipside and Molly Brown.
Okay.
For that one.
Fair enough. And here's a wild thing. I was hearing this on Deep Look. So shout out Deep Look for doing this basically same exercise as we're doing now. The second place finisher in Pool C, so the loser of Brute Squad and Molly Brown, is set to play Fury. No, that's not right. They're set to play Phoenix. Still. Gross. Like, that's going to be an incredible quarterfinal between, presumably,
Brute Squad or Molly.
Brute Squad or Molly Brown and Phoenix or Scandal.
Yeah.
Like, that's just going to be necessary viewing at 11:45 on the 21st. Because goodness.
Brute Squad hasn't looked super strong this year.
Yeah, but now they have Lefka Walczak, and they beat Sixers in the regional final. I don't know. Maybe I'm being influenced too much by what Deep Look was saying. I shouldn't listen to other Ultra World podcasts before I make my own nationals picks. That's really the lesson here, everyone. Okay, I'm also going Fury playing. Oh, goodness. Fury
Chalk.
Brute.
Chalk. Oh.
No. It definitely could be Phoenix's year again, and they have mechs now, and they have so much continuity. I think
Chalk.
I'm not going. I want to be different. I'm sorry, Phoenix, but if you draw Brute, it's gonna be a nasty. Plus, a Fury Brute semifinal. Like, I know. Look. Sasha, hear me out. Hear me out. Fury Phoenix last year was a lot of fun, but like Fury Brew is a classic matchup.
But maybe Fury
matchup.
Okay, listen, Fury Phoenix might be the new classic matchup.
It might be the new one, but you already chose us. So I'm gonna go different. Fury Brute in the top semifinal, and I'm going Flipside Molly in the bottom semifinal. I'm going chalk on that one. Sorry, Scandal and Sixers and such. My final picks: Southwest Final, baby. Fury Flipside. Fury takes it down again because Fury Flipside is not being Fury, and I don't think they would do it in the national final. Southwest Final to Fury victory, back to back.
All right, so my pick is a Fury Molly Brown final.
Molly Brown makes it to the final. What?
They look really good.
Yeah, I mean, they won Pro Champs, right?
Yeah. Yep.
Yeah. They won Pro Champs.
They beat Phoenix in the final by like 3 or 4 goals. 15-11.
Okay. That's a decent win.
Yeah. They look very good. You know, they have both of the Cardenas sisters.
True.
And like
and those two are on the top of their freaking games.
Yeah.
World champions, PWL champions.
Yeah,
they would triple peak basically. The Cardenases would.
Yeah.
If Molly were to take it down. So Fury Molly and
this is where it's
You're gonna
tough.
do it? You're gonna go out on a limb?
I'm gonna go out on a limb and say Molly's winning it.
Wow. Hey, Mountain West represent. You're wearing a Utah Wild jersey and you've just picked Molly Brown to win. Not even just make the final, win over Fury. Okay. We'll have to go back and listen to this and write these down so that we can laugh about how
wrong
right
we
or
were.
wrong we were. Probably wrong we were down the line. I think that's it, Sasha. That's
it.
Our special season 1.5 episode. It's fun to be back on the mic with you. Glad we got a chance to sit down before I head off to San Diego and you continue doing all of the Frisbee things out in Carolina.
Yep. I didn't say this at the top, but I'm coaching or I'm an assistant coach for the South Carolina men's team.
Nice.
So that's fun to get to coach a bunch of college kids. So that's cool.
Very exciting. Best of luck with that. Best of luck to the team.
Thanks.
Best of luck to all of the Club Nationals attendees, those we mentioned, those we did not, teams that we mentioned, teams that we did not. It'll be fun, y'all. I'm excited to see folks down in San Diego. Again, if you're there, keep an eye out for me. I'll be hovering around all the Ulti World media tent stuff, probably in a bright orange sun hoodie, and probably a gray layout 5-panel hat. So if you see me on the fields, come say hi. Sasha, I think that'll do us.
Yeah, that's it.
This has been Double Overtime. I've been Jenna Weiner. He's been Sasha Vogel. We'll catch you next time, sometime soon, probably sometime towards the end of the year as we get more info and news about the upcoming 2023 Western Ultimate League and Premier Ultimate League seasons.
Yay.
Until then, talk to y'all later.
Bye.
Bye.